Desmond, you are not inside Desmond tak ada kat dalam kan? Kat no kan? Kat no tak ada. Alright. So because I was in the other group just now, I saw him there. Okay, so you are going to create a new Node.js project. Alright, create a new Vue.js project. You are not going to continue yesterday's project with me. You're going to create a new Vue.js project. So this project is called movie web. Alright, bukan movie app, movie web. So anyone can remind me how to read? Tadi siapa tu? Diana, right? Yeah, Diana or somebody. Anyone can remind me what need to be done if I want to create a new Vue.js project? Vue.js, not Node.js. Belum lagi. It has to be from the browser first. Right? It has to be from the terminal first. Okay. You go inside the folder. Tak boleh simply do you go to week 8 folder, alright, then you will do view create, alright, create new folder. No need to create new folder, just go to week 8 folder, alright, just go to week 8 folder, and then you do view create movie web, movie-web, and then press enter. Right, view create movie web. Alright, so view create movie website. Alright, so this one to be done inside week 8 folder. Okay, installing. Installing. Okay, once you have done, jangan buat ni dulu. Alright, once you have done, don't do your normal thing first. Okay, I'm on page 79. All right, so I miss I skipped one topic with you. All right. You are going to do CD movie web. All right, CD movie web. After you do CD movie web, you will do view at router. All right, view at router. So you do CD movie web and then view at router. Ni latihan ni apa page 79 of the slide. Page 79 of the slide. Okay, get something. Correct. Yes. Oh, sorry. If if us using history mode, select yes. Okay, once you have done that, then you run npm run surf. Okay, and then verify like yesterday, localhost 8080. Okay, I think now you the by doing view at router just now, all right, by doing view at router, I get to verify that you have two tab. Then you know to link, right? Link on the link you have two tab. One is home, another one is about. Right? So just semalam you tak ada. Yesterday you only have one page, which is the home page. Now you have two. You write whatever they tell you, because if you have 8081, mungkin you dah apa? You did something just now, and then you forget to close it. If you forget to close it, then it's 8081. If kalau tak, normally it's 8080. Okay. Yes, you should have 2 tab. After you do that, right? After you do that, you open on subline macam semalam. You open it on subline. No, open the entire folder like yesterday. Open the entire folder. For Vue.js, you have to open the entire folder. Movie web. Okay, do the bootstrap thing yesterday, like yesterday. Do the bootstrap things. Mana yang dah buat biasanya I cepatkan. And later you will see in module 2 kan, sometimes there are things that we have done together. Macam ni kan, bootstrap we did together yesterday. So normally when that happen, normally I cepat lah, right? Okay. I don't even give time for you to check, alright? But because it's something that we have done. Okay, so once it's there, I think we are okay. We are cool with what we have now. Alright, so kita beri sekejap 5 minit so that you can catch me. Catch me if you can, alright, so that you can catch me if you can. Ni lah, and then on the left side, then you look on the left side. Okay. Oh, I janji sampai pukul 7 kan, alright. So tak apa. Kalau dah sudah, alright. Ni when you say okay, I assume you already moved the bootstrap as well, So kan semalam kita buat bootstrap tu, move the bootstrap inside index.html, add the bootstrap link inside HTML, the one that you missed yesterday kan, yang kenapa tak cantik, because you missed that part. So learn this one. CSS, part CSS only. Okay. Pukul 7 eh. Alright, so now we will see route a little bit. Alright, we'll see route because if it's a new thing, then I ni lah, I slow down. Alright, you see now the difference. You have two. We say two pages lah, right? You have two pages. One is home, one is about. You are replying. Alright, I share because I had to type. Who asked you to type it all? Ambil je dari sini. Oh my god. Bukan, it's not my fault ah. Ambil je dari situ. Copy paste je. Ha.
So nak share screen sekejap ah.
Okay.
I cannot. The thing is loading until now. Okay. So I try to click like this home about. The thing is loading here.
Try to refresh.
Refresh. Also same.
Pergi balik dekat you punya CMD.
Okay.
Tekan Ctrl C and then run again. Ctrl C to close.
Let's see.
Ctrl C.
A minute.
Yes. And then npm run surf.
So do I need to close this window?
Again, and then refresh. Refresh the page. Try one more. 8080. Tengok dia punya URL 8080 ke 8081
8081. Yang ni oh okay, dia dah tukar jadi okay. Okay, cantik. Thank you sir.
Right. Okay, now you see you have the views. Okay. And then you have home about. Okay, so let's say that I want to add one more pages. All right. Then on the views, I will do right click new file detail.view. I call it detail.view. Save as detail.view. All right. So create a new file which is called detail.view inside views. Can right click new file. Call it detail.view, capital D, and then dia akan jadi. Okay. We have to click new file, right click on the views, new file. Right click on the views, new file. Okay. You have to open folder. You tak open folder though. That's why you don't have it on the left side. You have to file new open file new open. Select the entire folder. Not the ni, select the entire folder. Okay, then press open. Press open, jangan pilih, don't select a file. Press open directly. Okay. So dah lupa. No, you bukan masuk you for not that you forget. And then press save. Press save. Press save. Control S. Save. And then name it detail.view. What I meant is you lupa kena buka belah kiri, right? Bukannya you lupa buat. Yes, of course yesterday you didn't create a new file, but you lupa kena buka belah kiri. So that what I meant by sudah lupa tadi. Okay, so yesterday I teach you about the skeleton kan. So yang skeleton tu create the skeleton. When I mean skeleton tu, you tahu kan, maksudnya the simplest. Alright, buang ni, buang components, buang import. Alright, so this is the simplest. Image SRC pun boleh buang. Alright, so this one, so this one main page. Okay, then you check dia akan jadi main page lah. Alright, you will check over here, it will become a home page, main page, home page, main page. So once you have done that, alright, you copy this, you put it inside detail. Alright, dalam detail you gantikan dia detail page, and then the home pun you ganti kepada detail. Alright, so you have home.view, you have the main page lah. Alright, so I teach you what we call a skeleton, the simplest, right? The simplest code that need to have, right? You have to have script and template and style dekat bawah lah. So once you have that, create a H1 main page and then copy all this, go to detail, and then put it there. Can you give me 2 minutes? You buat kejap. They call me for tangkap gambar kejap for my, tadi I ada conference tadi sebenarnya. 2 minutes. Okay, sorry ya, terganggu kejap. Lupa unshare screen tak pasal you all nampak. Ni, dah beritahu kan sebab apa dia orang nak cakap gambar ada conference tadi. I minta excuse. Okay, so once you have done that, lari lah kot. Kenapa lari? So once you have done that, we will go to, dia tak habis lagi tau, right? You have to go to router, right? You go to router. Dalam router ada file index.js, right? So you go to router. Inside router, there is this file which is called index.js, right? You nampak ni, home kan? Nampak this one and this one. You copy je, right? You follow what it does, right? So import detail from view/detail.view, okay, and then you tambah ikut je apa dia buat ni path, cuma path ni, right, the path you said that I want it to go to detail, right, and then the name is detail, ikut, but you have to think lah, right, and then you have the component, right, component detail. Okay, right, so macam ni. So once it's done, all right, what's the expectation? Now you have created another link which is called /detail. Okay, kalau you buat /detail, then the detail page, home, about, right? You have a new link. Because all this while kan, kalau you perasan, all this while you buat mesti you only do one page, alright? You only do one page. Website kan, you ada satu page atas ke bawah. But today, right, with Vue.js, you are able to create multiple page. You are able to create multiple page. And then now we have 3 pages lah. The first one is home, second is about, and then the third one is detail. I show you how to create detail, and then you boleh buat lah macam-macam lagi. Yes, if you every time you create, you have to follow the same process. Yes, under router folder. Dia memang ada tau. Dia memang dah ada. Ke you buat kan view at router ni kan? The detail page should be out if you put the URL slash detail. Right. Got error. What error? Ada import tak atas tu? You follow ada atas ada import detail from ni. Import ni. Follow this one. Missing this line. Still error. Tengok balik. Detail je salah. Tak ada S kan detail tu. Detail.view tak, page detail.view tak save. So yang belah kiri tu. The other file you did not save the other file. Detail.view. Naik atas index.js, buka detail.view, start save lagi, save kan dia. Okay, tengok balik, refresh. Yang detail tu, you have to move inside views folder, not outside of views folder. Belah kiri tu kan. Jadi dia you move it from control apa? From file explorer. Copykan dia dari file explorer. Dekat subline tak boleh. Dia kena buat dekat file explorer. Kenapa ni? Good. Okay. Move it from there. Kalau dia subline dia tak boleh drag. You kena move it from file explorer. Okay. So sekarang you tell me how where do you change this? What error? Ada error apa? Dah run dah npm run serve tu. Kita balik dekat CMD. CMD mana CMD? Command prompt. No, you have to open it from the folder. movie web folder, from movie web folder. Views folder, inside views folder. Sekejap. Sebab you go to movie web, you have to go it from movie web folder. Aduh, CMD dari situ. CMD dari situ. Okay, and then you do cd movie web. npm run surf. Okay. D kecil kan, not D besar, D kecil. Slash detail D kecil. Yang detail.view tu tak save lagi tu. That one you miss, you're supposed to copy from home, put it there, and then change the word detail tu. Then tukar jadi detail.view. Line 16 apa benda yang salah? Cuba tengok line 16. Line 16 on detail.view. Silap copy paste ke? Ni ada tutup style ni. Tutup style tak perlu. Because you have not opened the style. Unless if you open the style, then you can tutup it lah. Okay. Kena faham once you ni. Okay. If you are done, you go to app.view. Alright, nampak app.view ni. Biasanya kita buat kat app.view. Alright, normally we do it in app.view, but now it's home detail, about detail and home kan. Then I can add somewhere over here. For example, I'm going to detail page. All right. The URL of my detail page is /detail. Ikut je. All right. Now you have the three link. Home, about, detail. Okay. All right. So home, about, detail. Right. Home, about, detail. Okay, so once you are done, okay, so ini this is what it means lah. Ini semua you boleh buang. Alright, this is what it means. Alright, it means that it will open. Apa bilang? Boleh lah buang juga. Tak ada lah. Alright, put it there lah. Alright. So it means that, everywhere, right? Everywhere, every of the page it will show this. Right. Router view means depend on the URL, right? Depend on the URL. If the URL has nothing, right? If the URL has nothing, it will go to home. If the URL have /about, it will go to about component. If the URL have /detail, it will go to detail component. Dekat mana you declare all that, you declare it inside index.js tadi. Kalau dia /detail, then it go to detail component. Kalau it's /, it will go to home component. Kalau it's about, then it's going to about.view page, about component. Okay, so that's how it works. So kalau you nak tambah satu lagi page, I don't know lah, maybe for tomorrow or Thursday exercise, you either add, I want you to CRUD and create, read, update, delete. I think you learn already, right? So create. So create is add. You might have 4 pages. One is for add, one is for edit, and then another one is detail page lah, right? Detail page. Okay, so I want you to do on the home page. On the home page. I want you to do this UI, alright. I want you to do this UI. So dia ada dua bahagian. Bahagian atas macam ni, bahagian the second part is like this, right? So this is ni, right? This is your home page. So similar to yesterday, right? Similar to yesterday exercise. Yang similar macam you punya word, dia akan ada dua bahagian. The first part will have a button and a tag input. Alright, what movie you want to search? Berapa Harry Potter kan? Harry Potter. Alright, and then press search. Once I press search, it will be shown inside the second part. Ada table lah. Alright, search result section. Search result section, it will show you the table actually. So this is the poster of the film, all right, and then you have the film name, all right. For example, Tenet, the year 2020, all right. So this is the search result. Okay, so that's the UI that I want you to create. I want you to create it now, all right, and then 30 minute break. All right, so spend another 10 or 11 minutes to create the table and the search bar. After that, then you create a table at the bottom. All right, use mock data lah. You just you buat macam I buat je lah. Buat je Tenet, post apa Tenet ni, and then you put image SRC. You ambil je gambar cerita Tenet tu. Alright. Okay, can do the UI. And then kita terus break ah. So I see you at 8 PM. Okay. Tak usah kan? So inside my home page, change div class home to div class container. Got error for HTML. Got error with HTML. So div class container. Takut kena marah. Macam mana nak exam ni, right? Okay, main page. This one is no main page anymore lah. No main page anymore. So I teach you already, right? So input type text. Alright, name is movie search. Ini I can do placeholder, enter search term, and then button. Button class button btn search, and we put search here. btn search, btn primary and btn primary, and then search button here. Kenapa benda ni buka lagi? Okay, forgot to close my meeting here. Okay, sebelah-sebelah. But if you do kalau you nak, you kena buat sebelah-sebelah pun boleh lah. Alright, sebelah-sebelah pun boleh. Alright. If you want, you have to do div and everything, but it's okay lah. Sebelah-sebelah pun okay. So that's the first part. Alright, the second part is actually a div table lah. Table can ni pun boleh. If you want, table can, div pun can. Alright. I to simplify. Do you use table or ni? Do you use table or div? Kalau you do div, you have to do a lot of call. Nanti lagi pening kepala, so that's why. So we just use table, alright. We just follow Amirul. No lah, because kalau nanti you pening kepala, I will just use table, ftr, th. Some more than now, I said macam semalam kan. So th. Kita ada movie name. Image dulu lah, right? This is for the image. Movie name, and then kita ada ada th kan? th. We have tbooty, tr, td. Lupa tutup th. Ada ni. Oh, okay, sorry. Th tersilap. Apa yang buat? Sorry. Th is here. Alright. Penutup ya, okay, sini. Okay. Kenapa macam pelik ah? Okay lah, alright. I think normally I do border, right? Table border. Tak susah kan? Not difficult, right? Okay. Okay. So what I want you to do now, when the button letaklah, for example, Tenet kan, Tenet 2000 berapa? I think it's last year, right? Masa kita kita buka, masa kita tengok masa dia buka PKP sikit. Alright, so when this button is pressed, I want you to open detail page. So basically, can you do that? Alright, when this link is pressed, open the detail page tadi. Boleh 2 minit. I nak ambil air jap. 2 minit je eh. Okay. Ada yang dapat? Anyone did it? Ada yang berjaya? Dapat. How do you do it? Well, sorry, you do router link kan? Sorry, there's that. Actually, the one that I want to do is this one. I'm not really clear with the thing. So you have methods. All right, open detail. This is another way. This is another way. So my bad. Open detail function. All right. And then I will do v on click. But of course you don't know this because there is this one line of code that I have not teach you. Tapi sebab I did. Okay, so this one. So v on v. When the TD is click, when this one v on click. Right. When the button is click, right, I will call the function open detail. The function open detail. Alright, this one I do think you know how to do it. We will go to the new page. So this dot route, alright, dot push, alright, push to a new page, and that page is called detail. Ataupun you boleh buat slash detail macam URL slash detail. Okay, so once you do that, you press this. Once you do that, dapat error. This dot route, Okay, alright. Boleh tengok. Alright, just create this function and then call this function on the UI when the button is pressed. Correct, on the TR because you want the entire row. When the entire row is pressed. For the button nanti get. Button search after this. It just open the detail page without input, right? Yes, open the detail page without input. Detail page should have ni lah. Should have the word detail page. How come yours not nice? The table is not ni. I think is it the same thing as yesterday? You forgot the CSS. Okay. No, CSS is inside index.html. The link rel, link ref should go inside index.html. Okay. Got. Kan you tak buat when you do table, you don't do the table class table and everything. Same as yesterday kan, table class table, table stripe, table border. Okay, so once you do that, we're going to do new things. I hope you got it. Let's like this now. You can see. This one, so we're going to do new thing. About this one done, everything is done, everything is done here. Tak jadi. Alright, oh, actually I ada kat sini, patut I suruh you buat sini je. Okay. Okay, the thing, right? The thing is called, I think it's here. The thing is called mounted. Right, the thing is called mounted. You just put mounted here, mounted. All right, you just put mounted, open close bracket, curly bracket, and then you do, for example, alert, hello. All right, hello. So you do mounted, you do alert hello, and then you open, you see, once you open home page, right, you will have hello for the first time, and then that's it. Hello for the first time, and then that's it. So what does mounted means? Mounted means do whatever needs to be done. All right, I will put, I will define whatever need to be done when the page load. Right, for example, retrieving data. Okay, kalau you ingat balik, right, if you remember when we did, when we did our what exercise with local storage, and when the page is loaded, we get the data from the local storage, and then we show it. But at that time, the structure was different. But in this structure, if you want to do that thing, you have to do it on mounted. Kan kita panggil kan, load data function, kan we create a function and then we call it. So in this case, all right, for example, you have to do it on mounted, and then the example that I did just now is just to show an alert lah, all right, hi. When you refresh the page, all right, then hi will come up. This is just for example purposes. We are not going to do that, right? We're going to get the data from internet now. That means, yeah, wherever it's loaded, it will arrive here. I mean, you do whatever that you need to do, right? You might want to get data. For example, this is the answer for yesterday exercise. If you remember, like yesterday, I asked you to add, right? I want the page to be the same as your previous page, the one that you did in week 6, week 7. So what you need to do on mounted on yesterday's exercise, you need to retrieve it from local storage. Okay, so that's the answer on yesterday's exercise. You need to have mounted, and then in mounted, you will retrieve the data from local storage. Okay, once you have that, what you really are going to do is we are going to recently yang apa, I'm not sure if you are aware or not, apa open MOH COVID GitHub something. I'm not sure if you are aware of this news, right? They open source, right? They open source all the data related to COVID. Some more they update it every day, right? They MOE open source all the data that related on COVID into GitHub. All right. So why you have this and everything? Why they do it so that you can do whatever you want with this data, or you can do whatever you want with this data. You can create an application. You can but normally I don't see. I can even do hospital. All right. For example, if you want to create an app of the nearby hospital and everything, then you can. Right. So that's the reason why they do it. But actually, even I don't know how to do this data. Even I don't know what to use it. But this normally will interest those people who do data science lah, right? You know, there's this one cabang which is called data science. Data science is where you have a data, right? You create a chart. Kan you Arnold and everything. I think they need some helps. I think they need some helps from people who do data science, machine learning, everything, and to analyze what data. And then you can create any application, right? You imagine that kan yang hotspot tracker and everything, kan you can be creative, right? You can do beyond hotspot tracker. But I'm not sure if the data is there or not. Maybe you can do alright. Time app pergi ke satu tempat, pada waktu-waktu tertentu, right? Because I think from my what you get from my data, what you get from my sejahtera is only that, oh, apa, in the area kan. But actually with the data from my sejahtera also you can get data. Actually you're supposed to get, oh actually crowd, I think Selangkah did it. Macam, oh, in this area is crowded around this time. So if you want to go, you're supposed not supposed to go on this time lah. You're supposed to go on the other time. So peak time kan, I think Sejahtera has it. My Sejahtera don't have it, but Selangkah has it. So these are the data there. So just now, no, I don't teach it because I pun tak, I didn't use data science that much. So I don't teach it lah. So this is the what we call open source, right? Open source. This is open source information, but there's this another thing we call open source API, right? So open source API dia macam lah, is the same thing as the thing that my Sejahtera gives just now. But this one is you have more stuff, all right? Not only for this is worldwide. In Malaysia also they have it. So this is, I know lah what kind of app you want to do. For example, you want to do something that's related to Clash of Clans, Clash of Clans, right? So you can create app that's related to Clash of Clans or something. That talk about all these are all the information that you have, right? Let's say that you want to do an app about forex, and these are all the available data, right? That you can use, that you can have inside your app. Or you want to do something that is related to quiz, right? The other batches. The other batches they manage to do trivia, right? Trivia. So you can do lah. You tak nak keluarkan soalan, right? You tak nak keluarkan soalan. You just want to do a trivia app, right? You can get the question from this website, right? You can get all these questions from this website, and then you pump it inside your app. Right? So that's this thing, right? That's this thing. We're going to use it, but we're going to use movies data, right? So that's why it's called movie data. Open movie database. So you're going to use this one. So this is the data of all the film available. So I think it's linked to IMDb. So whatever information that you have here is available on IMDb. So normally, how do you get the data? You get it through a URL, right? And the URL is normally you generate here lah. You try and everything. So let's say that I want to look for Harry Potter. I press search, right? Then they will give you the API, the URL, right? But for this one, I will give you the URL because I have it already. So this is the URL to retrieve all movie about Harry Potter. So you can try this. Let's say that you don't like Harry Potter, you want something else. You do, for example, Tenet again. You just replace the word Harry to Tenet. Right, and then Ocean 11 or something. You just replace the word Tenet to Ocean. Then you can have all the films that are related to Ocean. Ocean 11 pun tak ada. So that's the. So it looks in text, but if you want it to be like me, you install JSON formatter Chrome extension. So if you want it to be like me, all right, you install JSON formatter. This is just for you to read, but it's not a text. If you're thinking about it, it is a JavaScript object. Kan, the rules that we learn, I think yours is like this lah, right? The rules that we learn is curly bracket is an object. So whenever it's a curly bracket, it's an object. But if you want it to be nice, you just install my thing, then you will get something like. Okay. Okay, so now you know the API. So you have two API. The first one is this one, right? You have Harry, for example, and then for each of it will give you an ID. Right. This movie, the ID is this one. Dia macam you punya IC lah. Alright, this movie, the ID is this one. The movie is this one. The movie is this one. The movie is this one. Right. So that's dia macam you punya IC tu. Alright. Then there is a second API. Alright. There is a second API which is sorry. With I. So you kena bezakan. Satu you ada I, satu you ada S. Right. So the second API with the I, you replace this with the ID, right? So for example, this one kan TT12 is definitely hollows. So let's say that I take half-blood prints, right? TT04, then replace it, then I will have half-blood prints, right? So there are two API that we're going to work with. The first one is this API, right? That will retrieve you the Harry Potter movies or any movies that users search. The second one is more information. Why I want to use the more information API? Because I want to show you on a detailed page. Right? After this later, once you press the second page, it will go to the second page and then it will show more information about the movie. It will show more information about Harry Potter or something.
I said,
Yes.
yeah. So the second API is the more details, right? So is it like every time I need to put into the API, I need to type the new ID, the IC, like IC number inside, then call
Yeah,
the
you have to type every time a new one. You have to get it from the first one.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. API stands for Application Programmable Interface. So that's what it stands for. So it's basically it's getting the data. That one we will go in detail on module 2, but it's the place where you retrieve your data and then show it. For module 1, you assume it's a URL, all right? But the thing is called OMDB API, right? But for the moment, you assume it's a URL that we retrieve you, that will give you information. Okay. All right, so now you're going to call it, right? What you're going to do is you're going to call this API, you're going to retrieve data from this API whenever the page is loaded. So you know that the next code, not when the page is loaded. You're going to call it when the button is pressed, right? When the button is pressed. This one I show you because later you will need, I beritahu tadi kan, later on the second page, when the page is loaded, you're going to retrieve the movies, right? So this one you need it for later. Right, but now we don't need it. We need it when the button is pressed. So this one you just do like macam semalam. So V on click. All right. So search, press, and then it will call this function. Okay, so once this is done, all right, the code to get data from API is inside this page. So you only need to remember, right? You only need to remember this. You need not remember like, every time you just copy this, right? Every time you just copy this. Every time you just copy this. All right. So this is the code. Actually, it's coming from here, right? It's coming from here. Nanti, but later kan masa module, I just show it lah where I get it, right? I get it there. Bukan sini. The second page. Second one. Sebab nanti kalau modul tu, mana dapat? Why? Alright, I get it from here. Alright, I will get it from here. Kalau not, you can do that. I will just put it there lah. Alright, I will just put it there. And at least you know the history, right? When the button is pressed, I will call the API. I will call the API. Then I change the API URL. You follow right me, don't copy paste directly from this because nanti you tak faham the story. And then I change the URL just now. So just now I have the Harry tadi. Opened OMDB Harry, and then Harry, I want the first thing. I want the S. Alright, I changed this URL, I changed it to Harry Potter. Alright, so retrieve me the API. Alright, once you retrieve the API, show it inside console. Right. Retrieve the API. Once you retrieve the API, show it inside console. Save it. Alright, you save it, and then the page is refreshed. And then you see every time you refresh, press the button, and then you verify inside developer tools. Hari tu I dah hajar kan developer tools. Developer tools ni is where you check your local storage last time. And then you should see this thing, object, and then you will have the same thing macam tadi lah. Alright, Harry. Right, so try and see, copy paste je. Make sure you copy paste correctly, and then you check inside your console. Okay, so you know what you should get. You know what you should get. You should get the ni tadi. You should get the ni tadi. You should get every time you press, right? There is this thing called. Benda ni akan keluar lah, right? Benda ni akan keluar. Anyone got it? I takut dah ni siapa tak dapat. Anyone dapat? Okay, Amirul dapat. Nope. Copy paste je. Copy paste je. As long as you copy paste correctly, dia akan keluar. Do you open it inside your from Vue.js or you open it from somewhere, and it has to be under console? Kenapa ada itu? Then press search. Press search. Ada? You have to press search. Dah keluar tu. You see on the left part, kan? No need to press hunter. No, see on the right side. Nampak tak benda yang ada benda search tu at the bottom? You have to know what you expect from bawah. There. Nampak tu search array tu. Ni atas sikit. Tu nampak tekan arrow tepi tu kiri tu. Tepi kiri tu ada arrow. Alright, and then tekan bawah tu. That's what you should get. You need to know what you're supposed to get lah. Alright, you need to know what you're supposed to get. Okay. Alright, so that's the thing, yeah. That's for retrieving data. Okay. So, sekarang ni it will be like yesterday, right? Be like yesterday balik. Alright. Once I get the data, I will save it. Ingat tak semalam kita buat? I will save it here. Right, I will save it inside movies. Alright, at first I create a variable movies. Ni macam hari tu kan, yang semalaman. I create a variable movies. Movies is an empty array. Once I get it, I will save it this dot movies. Alright, equals to data search. Got error? What error do you have? Oh, ada error. Sorry, tertinggal comma. If you like me, then tertinggal comma sini. If you follow me, tertinggal comma lah. Okay. Still ugly. Okay. Now the data, no, the data is inside movies already, right? The data is inside movies array. You akan keluarkan macam semalam, right? You bring it out here like yesterday. What should I put here? If you look at yesterday exercise or you look at the notes I saja je pin, right? Because you keep using it. So if you look at yesterday exercise or if you look at the notes, what should I add there? V model salah. Global file. No, there is no such thing as V4. Ni tembak apa tak pula. Right, it's a V4 right? Because why? Because I didn't right? Bring out data from an array. Right, bring out data from an array. You already have it inside a movies array, so it's inside the data is inside movies array. You want to bring out the data from the movies array, so you have to use V4. Okay, so kat sini you have V4 equals to movie in movies. Okay, if you want to use V4, you have to have my yeah, my screen freeze. Yeah, my screen does not screen freeze or not. Okay, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I will just reshare it. Okay, tak apa. I will just reshare. All right, V movies in movies. When you have it, you need to have the word key here. The key here is movie.omd movie.imdb id. Okay, then I will show the movie name. So movie dot title. Mana datang title? Title is coming from this. And then I will do movie.year. Alright, movie.year. Where does year come from? Year come from the array, right? From the data that I have just now. The panjang sikit. Alright. Yeah. From right from here, you see there's a year, there's a title, right? Title year. Okay, so that's where it comes from. Press search, right? Then you should have the data. Key means something that the IC. Key means the IC. ID there, the IC. So the ID, the IC for this is IMDb ID. So basically, almost everything in data, when you talk about data, almost everything has an ID. Macam semalam I letak dia punya IC tu name, right? Something that is unique. Okay. Okay, kan? If not, you can always paste your code. Paste your code, I check. Paste the entire code pun boleh. This one is not. This is search press. You tak panggil kat sini. Sorry. Sorry, that's about you project. You don't call it here. You have to call it inside via on click. You have to call it here when the button is pressed. Call search press. Okay, you have to call it. But you see tak habis kan? Once you call the button press, and then you complete it like this. Call movie press. Search press. Okay. Okay. Last thing. If you look at the notes, right, you have everything: interpolation, v-on-click, v-model tak buat lagi kan? V-model tak buat. So you can do that, right? You can just replace this, right? You can put, for example, search term. Ni sebenarnya dah belajar kan? You put search term here, and then you v-model the search term with the input. So v model search term, right? And then instead of hard code this to Harry, you will do plus search term. So you gantikan dengan plus. This is concatenation. I believe you already. Sorry, this dot search term. Every time you want to get from data, you use this dot search term. I believe you already learned this. You remember how to do concatenation and everything. Harry. All right. Then John Wick. Okay, boleh cukup dah ya. Okay. What error? Comma. After movies has comma. After movies have comma. Okay. So I think we did everything right for this. So you have interpolation, you have V oblique, you have V model, you have V4, you have V if, V if ni mounted, and then finally V bind. Right, V bind ni dia macam ni, right? It's like this, but it's for attribute. Itu bezanya. It's for attribute. Sekarang ni all the vocab that I teach you on module 1 will be useful on week 1 is needed here. What does I mean by attribute? Because now I want to bring it out. I want to put it inside inside the image, kan? Image SRC. I want it to be here. Image SRC. So since SRC is an attribute, I tak boleh buat macam ni, right? Our reflect is to do it to be like this. I cannot do it like that. I have to use V bind SRC. All right. If you want it to be bind to an attribute, you will do V dash bind SRC, and then you put sorry, I'm distracted with the message. Movie.poster. Alright, tapi besar sangat kan? Then you ni lah, besar sangat. Then you have to use image flip kan? Image flip. We saw it yesterday. Kalau tak tahu yang beza pun. Boleh lah, right? I think it should be fine lah, right? Kalau punya besar je. No, I hope. Well, if not, you have to do. If not, you have to set weight lah, right? Maybe set weight. Weight equals to 200 px something. Sama juga 100 px 150. Itulah. Okay, so that's it. Okay, got it. Boleh. So you press it, it will go here. You press it, it will go here. So press it. This is the top. Boleh? Why it's why we call v4? V4 is to bring out to bring out data from an array. So that's what v4 if. It's because you have an array yesterday, all right? You have an array of movies. Then you want to bring it out, then you use v4. So it's in the notes here, all right, to bring out data from an array. Why do you call is for each, kan? The way I read it, and for each movie in movies. So the way they do for loop, for each movie in movies. So that's why it's for each. If you press H, I don't think you have it. Sebab dia ada, this is not the app, it's the API. Kan? I think API tu dia ada certain numbers. You have to have a term, you tak boleh. This is because of the provider. Then if you have a song, then you put song in songs lah, and then your array is called songs. So your array here is called song. Okay. Alright. So yang ni dia kena ada benda lah, right? I think it's if har boleh lah. Ada har diljokia pia kariga ada har. But Harry Potter tak ada lah. I think tiga huruf tak minimum. 10 mesti ada kan, banyak movie start dengan 10 commandments. Okay, last ni betul-betul last. Alright, ini betul-betul last. I want to pass. Okay, let's see Traveloka for example kan. Oi, nak bercuti ni. Alright, Traveloka. So I'm going to make you jealous. I'm telling you guys I'm going to Dubai, right? So Dubai for example, right? I want to make everyone jealous. I'm going to Dubai. I'm going in next month, for example. All right, and press search. Okay, so you see, this thing, all right? The format is the same now, right? If you understand what we did just now, you can always create the website with the same format. Okay, format ni, format yang this one you have a table and everything. All right. And then, all right, so let's say that I want a hotel. I want to stay at Atlantis, all right, and then the palm, right. You see, when I click this, dia macam kita buat lah. When I click this, right, you will see that on top, all right, on top normally on the URL, it will pass the name of the hotel and also the ID of the hotel. This yang I cakap tadi, the ID. Okay. So and the ID is unique, right? The ID is unique. So if I go to the next hotel, tak naklah tu ni nak Pullman pun 300. Alright, then we go here. Then you have another ID. Alright, so that's what happened. Alright, let's go. Tak payah buat dekat Traveloka. We go something else with the same structure. So for example, apa lagi? Foodpanda lah. Foodpanda pun sama. Alright, Foodpanda also same. Alright, so we go here. Mana lagi kau order ni? Oh, macam makan burger pun ni . Alright, so ini kan. Then okay, I want the burger. I want this burger shop. Buka lah lagi you punya Foodpanda. Alright, I press this. Alright, you see that the name of on the URL, they will have the name of the restaurant and you have the ID. UBRL is actually the ID. I think it's UBRL is the ID. Let's see if anyone. RD Tom Yum. Alright, so you see it's another name, it's another ID. Okay, so you go to McDonald's, alright, it's another name. And no, I think takkanlah 192 is the ID. Let's see. I think it's the same principles, right? It's the same principle. Tak ada. So this one I think is the ID. I think sedap nampak nasi goreng ni. Okay, so that's how it is, right? That's how it is. We're going to pass the OMDB ID inside the new page. I'm going to pass the OMDB ID inside the new page, so that the new page know that who is it's coming from. Is it coming from Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban? Is it coming from Chamber of Secrets, alright, or is it coming from Dark Prince, half Dark Prince, etc. Okay. So how am I going to do it? Alright, I'm going to pass. So when the button is pressed, I'm going to pass movie.imdb ID as parameter. Okay, movie.imdb ID. I will pass it as a parameter. Jadi once this is the function kan. Once you change here, you have to change here as well, right? It's function declaration. So this one, it will take OMDB ID, IMDB ID and IMDB ID. It will take IMDB ID, and then I will pass this to the URL. I will pass this to the URL. Okay. Rasa tak boleh. If I'm not mistaken, cannot. Alright. If I'm not mistaken, cannot. Dia kena V on click. Okay, and then I will go to router. Alright, I will go to router, and then I will say that this route will now accept an IMDB ID. Alright, I will say that. Alright, I will declare that this route will now accept an IMDB ID. So once you do that, alright, you open the ni, alright, dari internet, alright, and then you press send, alright, you see that the ID akan berubah. So now on the ID you have TT6, right? TT6 itu sebenarnya adalah planet's ID, alright, Harry Potter, right, TT12 and everything. Right. So let's try that first. Okay. Because if it's enter, it's going to be something else. It's not going to be on the button. You have to do something on the input. On event something on it's not is you have to add another code if you want to add enter. I can't remember event handler on input on change, I think, on key up. So you have to do it on the input, all right? So you have to add another code. Okay, so once you do that, inside detail.view, all right, inside detail.view, I will do macam dia mounted. Inside mounted, I will do var IMDB ID equals to this dot router dot this dot router dot params dot get imdb id, and then we do alert imdb id. Okay, so that's so I press this. Come out. Refresh search. Tester router. Saya salah aja. Tester router. Tester router. Okay. Let me check the slide. This dot route dot params dot this dot route dot param this dot route dot param. IMDb ID. Okay. So this dot route dot params dot imdb id. Alright, so once I'm here, then I will get the imdb id from the router, and then I will show it in an alert. Okay, that's it. Saya rasa ada jawapan kat ni. Gini, nanti ada yang smart sangat dia tiru jawapan, susah itu. Delete jap. Repeat sheet. Oh, PC ni. Okay, so now you have 30 minutes left. All right, the idea is to bring out all the data from the second API, which is the OMDB ID, this one, right? So the idea is to bring out all the data from here because you have the ID here, right? You have the ID here already. So now you try to bring it out, all right, and then you show all the data inside the UI. So that's for the last 30 minutes remaining for you to do this. Boleh? Any question? To call back this API, when you call this API, you have this info. You have more info. You have Harry Potter, tahun 2011, rated, release, runtime, genre, director, writer. Yeah, bring out all the details from this API, show it in the UI. Sebab maybe because you kena check you punya IMDb ID tu ni tak? Ini kena huruf besar, ni kena huruf besar. Ni huruf besar, ni huruf besar. Kan, ni huruf besar, IMDb ID huruf besar, ni huruf besar. Atas IMDb ID huruf besar, and then inside your router pun IMDb ID huruf besar. And then this one kena ada /. Okay, clear dari? Alright, Ash dah clear. Ash bolehlah jadi pemudah cara. Alright. Okay, can try and do. Boleh cuba dulu. Anything you let me know. I sambil tu I nak tengok YouTube. Sekejap, bukan tengok YouTube. I want to see Coursera, not YouTube. Coursera. Anyone got it? No, kenapa tak dapat? Copy paste je. Kenapa tak dapat? Copy paste je. Kan? Copy paste je. So mounted ni dah ada. I go here. I call fetch. Kan dah buat ni. Alright, I call fetch. Up. And then I change the URL satu persatu lah. Alright, I change the URL. The URL already given. OMDB API. Buat je balik macam how I did it just now. Then I will do. Tak payah kita buat je console.log movie. Console.log data. Comment out dulu. Okay, so once I do that, then I will have this. Okay, then I will change it to IMDb ID. Okay, so that's bringing it out on the console. Copy paste je, right? Just change the URL. So this, dia cakap problem solving kurang, alright? You can copy paste my code, no problem. That's programming kan. If you can copy paste my code, correct, no issues. Tinggal comma sikit, which means that your programming skill is there. But if I give you the same exercise tapi tak boleh nak buat, that something is wrong with the program, problem solving. The same exercise. Sama je copy paste, but you don't know how to do it. So that's problem solving lah. Need to be improved. Output, you should see this lah. Macam Harry Potter, you see Harry Potter. If I come from Telnet, then I should see Telnet. Then tekan, then I should see Telnet. Kenapa you buat ke about.view? Check your ni line 11, 38, 67. I don't know what's your code, but it's written there. Line 11, line 38, line 67. Template, you dah usik template dah tu. Template tu ikut je, simple je macam I punya. Memang nothing. You have to you check on the console, not there. Kan tadi I check we check on the console, not on the UI. UI tu you yang kena bawa keluar. I have not done it yet. Okay, what's next? Macam biasa, you have to have a data. Right, you have to have a data. Data will return movie. Alright, kita buat null dulu. Alright, so this dot data, this dot movie equals to data. Alright, equals to data. So once I have that, I will do div, right, class cut p3 ke, and then empty 3. And I will do, for example, movie dot title. I put it 3. Okay, dia keluar situ. I will just do macam semalam, if okay, my internet come out. So once you got one, try to bring out 3 or 4 more, including the pictures, dalam masa 5 minit. So that we can finish at 10:15. If not, we finish at 10:30 or 10:20 or 10:30. All right. So try to see if you can bring out the movie. If, all right. If the movie the tenet comes out, all right, then keluarkan yang lain. Okay, ada yang dapat movies? Once you get the movies, bring out the others. Okay, alright, bring out the others. Plot, for example. And then the pictures, including the pictures, right? So try to remember back how to do picture just now, including the pictures. Yang 7. Oh, terlebih satu. Oh no, I accidentally deleted the card. Okay. Tak tahu pula apa tadi. Plot. Alright. Movie mesh. Soalnya gambar. Pilih. Wait. Okay. Okay, so that's a little bit, right? You can complete the rest. You can cantikkan dia, and then you can put the image in the center. All that is the styling, right? But this is the asas, right? The base, just to bring out the data and everything. All right, anyone managed to do it? Any question? I really open my Netflix. Just look up. All right, Amirul Gori, the others? Okay. Alright. So siapa yang tak dapat, you can just check back the video, right? Tapi as long actually if you remember the step, the important is for you to remember the step. Kan sebab because the second page is the copy paste of the first one, right? But you have to think lah, right? What I need to do. Macam tadi macam ada idea kan when the title is pressed, no, it's on the page is loaded. Alright, so that's that. You have to ni lah. There are some things, everything. The logic part. Alright, so that's yeah. Thursday, right? Thursday you're going to practice a little bit on this. I'm not sure. Tadi, I ingat nak suruh tengok video kan, but I will still, alright. But you will do one last time API. Tadi kan I cakap yang lain-lain semua you kena baik key. I just want to show you this one is your CSS already. It's supposed to be you should know it, but how to do it lah. You should know how to do it already. So you have to fix the CSS, put it in the center and everything. I just show you example how to bring out 5 things, whatever that you think that is not correct. By before 3 days of graduating, you should know how to do it. Okay, so any other things?